Today, as you can see, we've gone to a lot of effort again to the design and the feel of what we do. And you know who does that at DuPont? Everything that is designed, everything that is created into a feel for our events is done by Rob. Hey, we know Rob. Rob puts on that sort of face about him, that he's the happy-go-lucky guy. He's always got the jokes during his presentations. He likes to say that I'm standing on a stool in that photo when I'm not. He's the one on the stool. He's always happy on it. But can I tell you that what we've discovered over the last 18 months of working with Rob is that he is really, really dead serious. He's really dead serious about what he does. You know, when I say at the end of our presentations, we're serious about what I do, I actually mean Rob. Rob is just dead serious about what he does here at DuPont. Can I tell you, we have a nickname for him at the office. You won't know this because you won't see it. We call him Grumpy. Now, you would not know that because he's never grumpy when he does presentations. Never. But boy, is he grumpy when that door closes because he insists that we keep the standards at the highest possible level. He insists on it. Yeah. And if it's not right, he won't do it. But can I tell you that he also has the most keen heart for all of our wealth engineers. He's often buried behind his computer screens working on the next thing, months and months of working on things. But even while he's there, he knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. When I talk to him, he knows what's happening in the channels down in Durban. He knows what's happening in the channels in the Free State. He's always got his finger on the pulse despite the fact that he's quietly behind his screens. It was Rob, in fact, that came to me and said, you know, Brendan, network marketing actually caters directly to human nature. He said it is the most natural form of business we can do as humans. He says what it says is we need to stick together to survive. We need to stick together to succeed. We need relationship in our lives. And we can go through hardship and success together rather than alone. That's something we don't have these days. You know, these days we're all on our own. When I talk to you in the introduction presentations and the dev seminars, I always say to you, when you're at work, you are the only guy. Everybody else is your competition. But right here in this room, every single one of you wants every single one of you to succeed. Because if you succeed, it means you'll be succeeding too. That's the human nature. That's the human condition. That's what we want. Now, I don't think that Rob thought we would give him his own entire slot today. He doesn't normally get to butt in on my time and my platform. But because he has the keenest heart, we actually wanted you to hear how he thinks about you, how he feels about you, and how set he is on your success. So, ladies and gentlemen, won't you welcome with me Robert van der Bijl to the stage.
Good afternoon, wealth engineers. I'm on the stage now. I really enjoyed that intro. I think Monday is going to be a very appropriate time to ask for a raise. So thank you for that, Brendan. Guys, I'm so excited to see this room absolutely packed to the brim with such committed wealth engineers. And it should be a privilege that we're all together to enjoy such a special day together. It's almost like a birthday party, although Brendan said it's not a party, but come talk to me, we'll party. It's a celebration. DuPont's a year old, and we are celebrating success. And we're also celebrating our future, because we are going to change our lives and change this country over not just the next year, but the next decade and decades to come. Okay. So I wanted to find out who's in the house this afternoon. So I want to find out, and I want to hear some noise. Who is here from the Cape? Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, Western Cape? Anyone? We got 2 people. Okay. Well done. Well done. Whenever I try to phone Cape Town, they never seem to be doing anything. So I'm impressed that there are 2 people here. What about people from the Northwest Province? They must be. Yeah? That's where my parents stay, out in the Northwest. What about Mpumalanga? There we go, another full table. What about Limpopo? Making enough noise for 10 of you, that's good. What about the Free State? Oh, in the front. I was born in the Free State, so you're my people. Okay, the two big provinces. Are we ready? What about people from Gauteng? Okay, there's a few of us from Gauteng. What about... Now I've got a soft spot for this province. What about KZN? Okay, there's definitely going to be a prize for the most passionate. And I witnessed that. I was very lucky. I decided to do a little bit of work while I went on holiday down to Durban, to Umhlanga Rocks, and I got to meet with a lot of the teams in Durban. And I was shocked at the passion and the noise that they made, and also the knowledge that they had of a business, because they're nowhere near our head office, right? And I think through all the live streaming that we do out into the country, I think Durban is testament to the success that you can enjoy even though you're not near the head office. So well done. Alrighty, so you can see from the slide behind me what I'm going to be talking about. It's something that I think all of us as budding entrepreneurs are desperately in search of, and that's success. And I'm going to speak to you about 5 different aspects that I think contribute significantly to success. So, let's begin. The first aspect for you to really be effective in your progress towards success is really predicated on the fact that you actually need to change something in your life, and that is you need to raise your standards. We have all just come through New Year's Eve, right? How many of us had New Year's resolutions? Don't lie, you all had New Year's resolutions, right? You might not have told your family, but we all had New Year's resolutions. And those were, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, I want to change my life like this. I don't want 2017 to be like 2016, right? But it's so easy to want things, to desire things. I say often in the intro presentation, when we show that beautiful Rank 9 video, I said everyone gets excited about Rank 9. It's the easiest thing to do, to suddenly desire something, to want something. But if you really want change in your life that lasts longer than the 2 weeks after New Year's, you have to transform your wants into have-tos. It is the only way you're going to transform your life. And so you need to not compromise on all these resolutions that you have. You don't give up easily. You can't resort back to those standards of mediocrity. So what you have to do is you have to decide, well, who do I want to be? Not the way you thought on New Year's Eve, who do I want to be? You really need to sit down and take the time and decide, who do I want to be? What does that person look like? What behavior does that person kind of carry out? What are his standards or her standards? And you need to start behaving like the person that you want to be. And when that behavior changes into a higher standard, and you're able to not compromise on that standard, then only for the first time will you now be able to start transforming yourself into the person that you want to be. You need to look around you and understand what people surround you in your life. Because there are always going to be people that are going to want to bring you down, right? In their own insecurities. Sometimes hard to see other people succeeding. And so you're going to have people that want to bring you down. You're going to want people that are going to go, who do you think you are? Well, I know who you are. You're not that person you want to be. You need to know who those people are. And you need to know who the people are that encourage you, that want more for you, that believe in you, that believe that you can be more. And start surrounding yourself with more of those people. And so as you raise your standards, you'll become more accountable to yourself. And you'll stop compromising, and you will accept nothing less. And when that happens, before you know it, your life will have changed already. And that takes me to the second point. Discipline. Discipline. One of the most difficult things to master. Right? We all know it. And often it has a negative connotation. Because what does your dad say to you when you've been naughty? I'm going to discipline you. And at work, if you get called into a disciplinary hearing, that's not a good thing. Right? That's a bad thing. So we have a typically negative connotation around discipline. But I want you to change that perception you have of discipline. Because discipline, what it is really, it is training. Training that is going to take you to where you want to be. And it is fundamental to being effective in this lifetime. You can't achieve anything without self-discipline. And you need to start realizing that discipline is hard to endure because there's so much distraction and so much temptation in this world, right? Especially in today's day and time. We live in like a fast food, instant gratification society. And so there's so much distraction and temptation. And I'm going to ask you, you need to start understanding what distraction you have in your life. Because if you want to master discipline, you have to learn to manage the distraction that you have. And that might mean things like giving up Facebook. How much time do we spend on Facebook, some of us? It might mean getting rid of DSTV. It might mean managing your time a little better, being a little more proactive, committing certain days to Dew Point, for example, that happen every week, committing certain amount of hours in the day to Dew Point. And so you need to look at these different examples in your life that lead you to temptation and distraction and try and manage them out. And when you start managing them out, discipline will get easier. And remember to reward yourself. Like I said, it's hard to endure discipline. We're not perfect, we're not machines. I promise you, you're not going to be able to endure it infinitely. So you need to reward yourself when you do well from that aspect. And if you look at our XP Rewards program, it's designed to reward you along every step of the way. So enjoy those rewards. Connect with them. And remember, because we're not machines, we are doomed for failure somewhere along the line. The important thing to remember is to always get up. You get knocked down, you experience little failures, or even big failures. Don't be hard on yourself. You're only human. It's going to happen. The most successful people in the world probably fail more than anyone else. And so we need to accept failure. Don't look down on it like we do. Get up and move forward. And that takes me to the next point, which is goals. Now, I know you all watch development seminars constantly, right? Right. And if you've sat in on a Teamworks meeting with Brendan or myself, you will hear us constantly talking about goals and how important it is to set goals. It is another fundamental step towards success. You will never be successful unless you have solid goals. And like Brendan said earlier, not these vague goals. You have to be very specific when it comes to goal setting. You cannot generalize. You cannot have these broad goals. You have to have very specific goals. Small goals, large goals, goals for tomorrow, goals for next week, goals for 10 years' time. And it's very exciting being able to set up the goals that you have because you get to engage with your imagination. You get to design your future when you think about the goals that you want in your life, whether it be tomorrow or next year or in 10 years' time. And you need to design goals that push you. Someone said to me, The moment you stop moving forward, the moment you become stagnant, you start dying. Goals are something that will push you. They will keep you moving forward. They need to inspire you. They need to motivate you. They need to drive you and maybe even scare you a little bit. And again, we've got this wonderful XP Rewards program that has all these goals at every single rank. And I want you to go through that XP Rewards program, because I know a lot of people don't actually really engage with the XP Rewards program. They all see rank 9, and that's where you want to be, right? But we've got a whole bunch of ranks before 9. Like I said, you need to get to rank 1 before you can get to rank 9. So look at the XP Rewards program. Take a look at what those rewards are. That rank 9 reward is awesome. But I want you to imagine what it's like to get to each of those ranks, to come up onto stage and have Brendan shaking your hand and putting a rank 9 pin on your lapel. I want you to think what it feels like. I want you to imagine what it feels like getting onto one of those SAA flights to Mauritius, business class. What does it feel like sitting down in one of those chairs that are so much wider than those ones in economy class, with your family as the air hostess offers you champagne, as you smile at the strangers walking past you going to economy class? I want you to imagine what it must feel like to sink your toes into the soft sand on Mauritius beaches. While you stand with your family, the sun beating down on you, as you experience 7 days, all expenses paid, every single year. And then I want you to imagine rank 11. I want you to imagine getting into a brand new Mini Cooper. That new car smell as Brendan hands you the keys to your new car. But more importantly, regarding goal setting, you need to know and understand why you're setting the goals you're setting. Because often the goals are just things, right? A house, a car, maybe getting to a certain level of earnings. But more importantly, when you set goals, you need to understand, how is that going to transform you? What person are you going to be like when you reach these goals? Because that is way more sustainable than just aiming for things. You need to aim for personal development in transforming yourself. Then we get on to rituals. There we go, rituals. It looks like a man about to commit suicide, but it's not. He's maintaining his rituals. Success does not happen overnight. It doesn't. The people that are going to be coming onto stage this evening, the success that they've experienced has not happened today. It has happened over the entire year. It happens in the background when no one's watching. It happens when other people are watching TV. It happens when other people are sleeping. It happens when other people are trawling through things like Facebook. It's all those little details, right? Speak to Brendan about the slide rule, the slight rule. It's just those little incremental pushes, the progress that you make towards success. And you need to adopt the behavior of that person that you want to become. That behavior has to transform into rituals. And at first, after you've rationed what you want to become, who you want to become, where you want to be, you've thought about it, you've set your goals, you've decided these are the rituals I need to adopt, this is the person I have to behave like, this is the people I have to get out of my life and the people that I have to bring into my life. And at first it'll feel very uncomfortable. It's strange adopting new behavior in your life. It'll feel alien to you. But with the discipline that you now have, those rituals will become more you, and before you know it, you'll be that person that you want to become. But remember, you cannot compromise. You can't give up. You cannot blame others. And you cannot settle for mediocrity. So adopting those rituals is something that only winners have, right? The rest of us think it all happens on its own. And that leads me on to passion. Passion. I want to see everyone dancing like this lady at the end of this conference. Where do we find passion? How do we find it? Always speak to people. I just wasn't passionate about it. And they end up giving up. It's always the reason for giving up. I just wasn't passionate about it. I lost interest in it. I gave up. I moved on to something else that interests me a little more. Let me tell you something. Passion does not find you. It doesn't. It's not something you suddenly come across when you start doing something that you like. You discover your passion the moment you discover your purpose. And how do you find your purpose? Well, like I said in the process, when you sit down and you're very honest about yourself, when you go through those goals, those rituals, the person that you want to be, where you want to be next year, you start to understand more about the person that you want to be. It reveals the purpose that you have in your life. And when you become that person, for the first time, you're able to affect change. And that is true power. That is purpose. When you're able to affect change and give yourself to your family, to your friends, to your community, to your country, I think that is where you're going to find your purpose. And when you find that purpose, suddenly you will understand what you are passionate about. And so, to conclude, I want to remind you, you are going to face obstacles constantly. The obstacles will never end. It doesn't matter who you become. It doesn't matter how effective you become. You will forever face obstacles. In your personal life, in business, it doesn't matter what it is. They're there to derail your plans, tempt you away from discipline, bring down your lofty standards that you've developed for yourself, upset your rituals, and extinguish your passion. And they come in all shapes and sizes. It might be the voice in your head, the doubt that you have. It might be friends and family. People that love you might be the obstacles that you experience. But you have to believe. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that you always have a choice. You always have a choice. If there are always going to be obstacles, you're always going to have a choice as to giving up or getting up and not letting anything get the better of you. Accountability lies with you. At the end of the day, you've got to look yourself in the mirror and decide, am I going to endure the pain of lifelong regret when it's too late one day, or are you going to endure the short-term pain of developing discipline, setting all those goals, speaking to people constantly about this new business that you're involved in over the relative short term compared to lifelong regret? And so I remind you that you can be great. You can become the person that you want to become. Everyone has it in them. There is not one single person sitting in this room that is better than the other. You can all reach your dreams. You can all become successful. You can all raise your standards and develop discipline that you can teach to other people. And you can all give yourselves to the people around you that need help. And so to finish off, I want to hear everyone shout, I can. Shout it again, I can! Guys, this is just the beginning. Thank you very much.